They didn't even want to go. But I made it clear to the ladies that I hate Vegas.
But do you feel somehow that you were kind of like, I have to say, because I saw it myself, that you were in kind of like an scapegoat situation, like being new, you didn't know kind of stuff like this, you just thought, well, if this is to learn, well, I'll learn. How did you feel after all of it played out? How did you, I know you had a chance to think about it, and what went wrong, and what I did wrong, and now I know, kind of thing. But what were you thinking through that whole process? Because, you know, you've got to remember, you know, with the day and age right now, and with all the cuts that were being made at the casino, with the budget deficit, and with people not getting jobs, and people are, you know, it's heating problems with elders and stuff like that. Their checks aren't going to be the same. I mean, there's a whole slew of things you could talk about. So, was this kind of an experience that you would never forget, you know?
Is that one of those rhetorical questions?
Well, yeah. Is it something that you learn from, that you have to look at how you got there, you have to look at what was said and done, and what your decision was? So based on all that, did you feel that with everything going on that, you know, I shouldn't be doing this right now?
Did I ever feel I shouldn't be going to Vegas right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not going. You know, there were a lot of things. The biggest one was that it's not my area to focus on. The other trips that I canceled and the Vegas one, I didn't see a need for 4 of us to go. Was it in our budget? Yes. Was I asking for something that was outside of the budget to go to? No. You know, that was all part of what they put in there for board to go and do. I saw it as a part of my job to go and get this information, see how it'll apply to our tribe, how will it benefit us. That's what I saw as part of my job. That's what I see board travel is for, is what can we do to help our tribe. That's why I was going to Vegas to begin with. And then in time, there was no reason for Jennifer to go. And that was
okay.
Why.
Now, before, earlier on, you said that they've always done it, so they're still doing it. Okay, with the budget and the travel, is it a gigantic one where it could actually be shrunk down somehow? That if you needed somebody on the hill, that then is the time? Because I'm telling you, I've heard some stories. And these are people that were there that didn't even come out of their rooms but went, you know, on the hill. And you've heard them too, I'm sure you have.
I've seen it with other organizations. There's always people who do things like that.
So we're wasting all this money, you know, we're wasting all this money. So is it something like that, that travel budget could be shrunk up a little bit, that you only go where you're actually really needed in VIA conferences through televised, and a lot of you can be there. Would that be something you would like to do and see in the future?
Well, it's already being done. We're already doing online meetings with our Lansing partners instead of going there. And, you know, there's a lot of people on this board who are very progressive oriented in doing those kinds of things. Some of us are more tech savvy than others, but those savings are being identified and are going to happen. I understand that last year the spiritual conference, or the Spirit Day that they had for the employees and things, that was a result of board savings out of travel that they didn't use. That's what I was told. And, you know, I'm confident that we're going to identify savings out of board travel because we're doing things smarter. And we are. When I went with Kathy to Denver, I went with Kathy Abramson to Denver.
Yeah, she explained that trip to me.
I didn't have my own room. I was originally booked to have my own room.
But you shared a room.
Yeah. Then we got there and I looked and I said, hey. And she said, why don't you stay in here? So
Kathy's trip was already paid for by her other title she has.
Right.
Okay, now that being said, let's get on to this resolution that everybody's talking about too. where the chairman can't see the expenses. Now, in my mind, if you're gonna make a budget up, you better darn well show everything and where it's going and where it is.
You know, when I read the resolution, before all of this came
Now,
out.
I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
I
When I first read it, I thought it meant phone records.
That me too.
But now I'm hearing that there are those who think it means everything.
I know, and
when I
read
heard
it.
that a board member can't even get her own travel records, that's another one of those times where I'm saying, are you kidding me? I'm not, I mean, honestly, some of the things that I'm told boggle my brain.
No, DJ did get on the STG and said that's all it was meant for. Now, my next question would be, who, from what I understand, Joanne Carr was the interpreter of all that. And what do you feel that she had the, how do you feel that she took that into her own hands and interpreted it? Because when I read it, I'm reading what you're reading. I mean, it's you know, where did you get this off on saying stuff like this and that? I read exactly what you read, and I interpreted it the same way you did. It didn't mention nothing about that.
Well, I haven't spoken with Joanne. I'm hearing that, you know, this is what people are saying. I'd like to know, why does she think it means that? You know, did somebody, is this her own interpretation? Is this her application? Was she told this is how it was going to be applied? Did legal tell it?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but
is it something you're going to get to the bottom of that? Because
I imagine on Tuesday it'll be talked about. but see, this is another example of things where I just go, are you kidding me? When I first asked about board travel, because I didn't know anything, and no one told me anything. There was no indoctrination, there was no training, there was no nothing.
You're just thrown into the board and here, you do this.
Yeah.
Nobody ever came up to you and said, Jennifer, this is what your job duties as a director should be. Okay, did anybody ever...
Well, we had some discussions about some of that, but really there is no new board member 101 training. There's nothing. And especially this time, we hit the ground running. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
The pace has been set. We were flying from the first board meeting. But when I saw something that I wanted to go to, oh, it was this guy,
excuse me,
Jim somebody. He was offering training on the unique tribal Robert's Rules of Order and other kinds of things. Really a good training in Arizona. And I went to Joanne and said, this looks really good. I said, new board members should go for this training so that we don't have to learn and make mistakes, that we can be trained on all of these things on tribal governments and the unique things. Because, you know, we know Robert's Rules, but the tribal ones are a bit different. And it looked like really good training, and she agreed. But instead of us going there, we brought him here.
That's good. Excellent.
Except that I was with Kathy and I didn't get it anyway. But the rest of them did, and they've been telling me what they learned. And that's great.
Yeah.
You know, and that was that was another thing that people don't know about. 3 of us, maybe more, this opportunity was there. We were talking about it. We did not book our flights to it, but we were talking about us going, and then Joanne said, well, we can bring him here.
Was it something that even the members could have attended to, or for free?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't here.
See, but that would be a good situation too, if you see something like that members and elders can attend to. Well, I know they tried to see if they could videotape it, and of course I didn't expect it to be, this is how this man makes his money. He's not going to allow pirated copies of his trainings. But we need that kind of information. We need it. And it wasn't available to me when I came in. You know, I can ask questions, and you know, I just think I would have benefited from having somebody sit down and explain some things to me. But when I asked about going there and about the travel, I said, you know, what do I need to do? And I was told, just tell me where you want to go. What?
And I said, I don't have to fill out papers, I don't have to bring this to anybody. And she said, no, we're not allowed to, no, she didn't say allowed. We were told that we don't question the board's travel. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, yeah, are you kidding me? And she said, no. And I said, you mean all I have to do is tell you this is where I want to go and you book it? And that's what they did. Wow. And she said, you know, we have a budget and we do these things, but, you know, the new board members and we've talked about, because I'm not the only one who's being surprised at what we're finding when we get here. And it's not acceptable.
No, it's not.
It's not acceptable to just... And I heard some of the horror stories about this person doing that, and it's like, that's crazy.
So
it doesn't make good sense. It's not
on
right.
the resolution on Tuesday. Now, basically, I heard bits and pieces how it was being drawn up. That Aaron will be allowed to get the expenses. He should be able to. I mean, if he's doing a budget.
The chair should be able to get it.
Chair.
The board members should be able to get it. This is part of normal budget. There's nothing that should be sacred and kept away.
What are you trying to hide? It's like, is that how you took it?
This makes no sense to me. And
you're for it.
It's ridiculous,
right?
I think there needs to be full disclosure of every expense that our tribe has. Exactly.
Do you hear that, folks?
And that's what this would do.
I heard some were making up a resolution, but excluding a few people here and there. Do you think
excluding? What do you mean?
Excluding like, well, Joel McCoy. Let's not see what he spent. Spent.
I'm not for that.
Huh? I ain't either.
I'm not for that. Our tribe, there's no secrets in what our expenditure should be. That's absurd.
Right.
I agree with you. I don't agree with it. And anybody who's doing that, shame on you.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that phone records should be private in terms of identifying who you're talking to? Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
But
constituents.
The dollar amounts and the billings for it, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, that comes forward and everybody knows about it.
Right.
How can you do a budget if you don't know what you're dealing with? That makes no sense.
I mean, me too. I was like, when I hear this stuff, my brain just hurts. It's like, are you kidding me? Ah, really? It just...
Let's get some shirts
it's like, oh,
let's get some shirts that say, are you kidding me?
Yeah, really.
I've said it so many times in the few months that I've been here. A lot of the things that our tribe does and does not do is shocking to me.
Oh, every day? I mean, every day I get shocked. And my brain actually hurts. I'm not kidding you. I just have to sit back and think, all right, okay, this is the tribe. Linda, this is the tribe. Calm yourself down.
But you know where it's going to start getting better is that there are people on the board who are asking about accountability, are asking about processes. And we've been talking about that. When everybody just goes this way and that way, there's no accountability. I'm not for that. I'm for accountability.
Absolutely.
I've been a teacher. I'm completely for accountability.
Yeah.
And as a tribal board member, I don't want anybody telling me, oh, you don't need to know. Excuse me? I absolutely do need to know.
Yeah. That's how you make decisions.
How about I want to know now?
Yeah. How about that, eh?
This is...
So you're for this Tuesday meeting. I am really tempted to go to that too, because I just...
You want to ride?
I just want to... I want
to really early though.
I want to really see which ones don't vote for. I just have to... I hope that it's worded well. I haven't opened my email before I came here with the last minute whatever's on there, because sometimes you make things worse when you try to fix stuff by adding too much or not doing it right. I hope it's done right, because I want to say yes to it. I think that it's absurd. I don't think that people should be allowed to go in and say, I want to see this person's travel records.
but I do think that all travel records should be given up
Oh, absolutely.
regularly. You know, I don't like the way that people like to target individuals. This should just be a matter of procedure, that all of it comes forward and this is what it's
Oh,
done.
yeah, then
I think there
there's
should be a
nothing to-
procedure for.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I've wanted to go somewhere, I ask, who else is going? Well, I don't know. What do you mean we don't know? We don't talk about it? In other places where I've worked and where we come from, teams of people go and we talk about what we've done, we share the information, and to me it's dysfunctional that we're not doing it. I think we're going to get there. I think there are a lot of people who've had enough. I've had enough.
Yeah, I've had enough.
You know, I want to tell people what I've learned.
Yeah.
Or and I'll even say when I go, if I didn't think it was worth going, don't ever go to anything like this again. Because I've been to places where they're terrible.
The board's going to try to keep them at home now just to save on some money and time, if it's possible, right? You all need to go to the hill, you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you straight up, I'm going to Sacramento. I believe I'm leaving on the 20th, but I'm going there as the only representative of our tribe as far as I know, the NCAI. We're entitled to 180 votes because of the size of our tribe, and I'm going there as our delegate. Kathy Abramson will be there, but she's going under a different responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
She's going there for the National Indian Health Board.
Right.
So, and I'm going, and I'll be doing it. I don't want to go to California. I never wanted to go to California.
But you have to be there